So, hey, Jennifer, how's your day going so far?
It's okay. It's been a busy day. How about you?
It's been a pretty busy day, but it's good. It's a good day. I'm excited to talk about the nest. I've already spoken with Sarah Navratil and Drez Ryan. So I got a
Awesome.
couple different perspectives, but I'm really curious to get your behind the scene perspective and all of that bits. First of all, can you kind of give me a trajectory of when you first started creating this project to when it finally filmed and now when it's coming out?
Yes. Quite a long time. I had mainly been writing short horror screenplays, and then I wrote The Be Welling in a screenwriting class, probably I'd say 4 or 5 years ago now. So it was like the first draft of what became The Nest, and kind of worked on it off and on for about a year, and then kind of shelved it and started working on a new screenplay. So probably 3 years ago, James Settle, I have an office where his studio is, and he's like, "Do you have any future screenplays you'd be interested in letting me read?" And I gave him The Be Welling and another one, and he was interested in The Be Welling. And then it became kind of like 6 to 8 months of and my cat is determined to mess with me. But anyway,
Oh, that's
you're
okay. Mine,
scratching.
mine will probably end up on top of me at some point.
Okay, if you hear random scratching,
That's totally
um,
fine.
it's okay.
We
Um,
welcome animals here.
good. um, so then it was like learning how to revise the script based on a workable budget, locations, cast, writing for an indie film budget. And The Be Welling had the same idea, same heart of the story, but it was two different timelines. And and after months and months of kind of revising, we locked it down. And then the actual filming, or the casting, and then the actual filming of it was pretty quick, less than a month. And then they started the process of editing, and that kind of happened. We stopped filming. I know, there he is. He's
Hmm.
um right before COVID hit. Like, we were done, which we were very lucky. And then so they had the whole year and a half during COVID to really kind of knock it out and then get it to sales distributor and everything.
So when you first, I know that you said it was called the Be Welling before it turned into the nest. Did you kind of spark it with the idea of this teddy bear, or did that come along later on as it became adapted and more practical for budgets?
Definitely had the bear through the whole thing, because the genesis of the screenplay is based on my own daughter, and when she was younger, when she had really severe separation anxiety, and just years of it, and just trying to figure that out as a parent. And I normally, with my kind of love of horror, tend to go like, "Ooh, what is this? What could this be?" And of course it was nothing, and she's fine. But and children, of course, have love these. Oh, you have a tuxedo too.
Yeah, sorry, I'm very interested in this story about your daughter, but she came up again on my leg, so I thought
Oh,
I
she's
yes,
beautiful.
she is. Her name is Boo. She's so pretty with her little
Are
paws.
she I love her nose and her markings on her face. Now I want Finn to like actually come, but he's like, I don't need.
They'll be
Yeah,
friends.
he'll
Okay,
come back and bug me. Well,
I'll
she's
let her go.
beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah, your cat as well. Your cat has more fur. But let's
Fluffy.
circle back to you were talking about your daughter, her separation anxiety, and translating that into the film.
And so there was a bear in the Rewelling, where it was they attached to the bear. And there was it was the original was more focused on the role of Beth, Sarah's role. It was more her journey and what she carried and what she brought and what happened to her as a child. And then it segued into what was happening to her child. So it was more like a hereditary themed, like true passing on what we share to our children, whether we mean to or not. So that was all tightened up and streamlined into present day. but like I said, most of it is still there. Um,
So even if, the Beth and is the daughter's name Maggie? I'm trying to remember the
Meg.
Meg, sorry. So even with Beth and Meg, even if they're not, directly based on you and your daughter, or that relationship, obviously there's some kind of parallels there for you. What was the casting process like for that, with Sarah, but also with the younger actress, portraying not necessarily your daughter, but this version of what your daughter's going through?
That was really interesting, mainly because when Sarah came in and auditioned, she was Beth from the first go. She's remarkable, and she nailed it. Her vulnerability and her essence. I mean, it was like, okay, we're done. We got that. And with Meg, my daughter did actually audition for her that role, but she was too old at that point. Like, it was like we needed a younger child. And then we had another young actress kind of we were seriously considering. And then James, because Sarah's so blonde and so, she's beautiful and just those piercing blue eyes. And he's just like, I'm gonna have my daughter Maple try it, read a little bit of the lines. And at first I was kind of like, but then when he showed me what he had done with her, and then when seeing her, just she's so good. She's so quietly intense, and she looks so much like Sarah, and they had so much chemistry. And she, so that was thrilling when that all fell into place. And then we were like, that okay, we got our family. We found Kevin, and we got our family. So and actually my daughter Penny, she auditioned for Meg, and then she also auditioned for Billy, who is the bully, and that is her. So that's my daughter.
Huh.
And that scene where she calls her
That's your
little
daughter?
yeah,
Yeah, I saw. I was
she
gonna
was so
say.
excited to be able to say those words.
I was gonna say, didn't she cuss? I was like, that's funny. That's so funny. That's awesome. Are you anywhere secretly in the movie?
I am.
Oh,
Um,
are you?
I did my little Stephen King cameo. I am the first mother, the dying mother. Oh,
Okay.
yeah, no, I think that's okay to say. Yes. So I did my little monster makeup, and I'm the mother in the opening scene.
And I think it was Sarah that was telling me about the practical or the effects with the teddy bear. Can you kind of go into that a little bit more as far as like what you had behind the scenes for practical effects and anything necessarily VFX that went into it?
Absolutely. We had John Lauterbach, who, we're kind of all from the Southeast, and most of us are actually from North Carolina. So we all kind of know each other. And John's awesome. And so I think they found the bear just on Amazon, and then they got like 7 bears. And then it became that okay, we need one for the opening, we need this during these scenes, and then the cut up one. And then so there's all these variety of bears everywhere in various stages. And then so all the practical effect is all John, like when it splits and those moments. And there's a little bit of CGI put in, but via VFX, I guess I should say, visual effects, but not much. A lot of it, especially, the makeup you see on Sarah and at the end, and me at the beginning, and then most of the bear, that was all practical.
That's pretty cool. So obviously this project's kind of like your baby. So I'm wondering how many hats you wore in this because I know, yeah, in addition to writing, you have multiple other credits. I know you've done, acting, you've done a number of other things. So curiously behind the scenes, what other hats did you have to wear to bring the nest finally to life?
I wanted to just be the writer. I I it was actually a screenplay. My second screenplay that I wrote, I was more emotionally attached to it the Llewellyn, which became the Nest. So when James approached me, I was like, whatever, you know, let's rewrite the thing, let's change it up, whatever. This is a great opportunity to have a script produced. And so other than just because of my background in acting, I was a reader at all the auditions. So the casting sessions, I was reading with the actresses and actors that were coming in to audition for the parts. Other than that, and then just showing up on set and just watching the magic happen, I was just the writer. It was kind of fun. It was amazing to come in and hear the words you've written, you know, to see the characters kind of come to life in that world, come to life. That was really cool.
Did the character, the character, I'm trying to remember the name, but the character that Drez plays,
Ash.
yes, okay. So I thought that character was really, really, he brought like a bedside manner to that character that was so cool, and I loved his portrayal. So I was curious of whether or not any of his specific qualities changed that character at all, or if that was like by the book and he completely brought that to life with what you had in mind.
So Drez is one of my very close friends, and I've known him for a long time, and I think he is one of the most brilliant actors like anywhere. I have cast him in like several of my short films. I've been able to work with him several times, and he is going to be huge one day. Beyond all that, he brings, so yes, you know, when I say I was a writer, I definitely was being like, this person would be good for this role and this person would be good for this role. So like I definitely did a little shout out for Drez and also Kevin who played Jack, because they're friends and co-actors. But Drez came in for his audition, and once again, it was like Sarah, it was just immediate. He has a natural warmth, and he's so heartfelt and so genuine. So yes, he's saying the words that I wrote, but his depiction of that character is all him. You know, I'm sure James directed him. I don't think I was there when they were filming him, but he was able to bring humanity and also vulnerability, I think, to that role, which we both kind of felt was very important, because we wanted him to be experienced, but not too experienced, because he doesn't really know what to do. He's thrown off guard by this child. And so he makes you care for him.
So I think that it's really, really cool that you gave him such high praise, because he was, I think it was yesterday we talked, no, 2 days ago we talked. He brought you up and he was talking about how you're a mentor to him and how amazing you are. Like, he went on about you for a bit, and then that was before I even told him that I was talking to you. And when I said I was going to talk to you, he was like, yeah, you know, let her know, let her know. I think he said that he was gassing you up. I can't remember how he had said it, but yeah, he like was talking about how, you know, how much he's learned from you. So it's pretty cool to know that you guys have that little click. I think was it in Asheville that you guys?
Yeah, Asheville. Yeah, we studied acting together, and
That's what he said.
yeah, it was just immediate. We have this little love fest between the two of us. I just adore him, and I actually have another script I'm working on, and he's got to play the character. You know, it's like I gotta keep him before he's too big, and I can't afford him. You've got it, or he moves, I don't know, to LA or New York. But yeah, he's just, even in acting class, it was just like, I wish I could be more like him, I think. So yeah, he's great.
So are you specifically pursuing writing now, or are you? So yes, okay. So you've pulled from acting and now you're focusing.
No, I don't know. I love acting, and I have been really lucky because I've had a few, you know, bigger movie roles, small roles in bigger movies. And then also the independent film scene here is great. And like, I got to work in a couple of feature films this past year. And it's hard because it's so completely out of your control. You're taping these tapes, and you're just like, here you go. And so it takes its toll. Writing does too, because you're, once again, like, I have 4 screenplays and different levels of, whether they're finished or not. And I don't really know the next step. I know I need to probably find an agent or pitch but it feels more within my control. So it feels a little bit more powerful to do it that way. So I love acting, but I'm phasing out of it. But writing, that seems like more the goal forward.
So is there anything particularly that you have in the works? I know you mentioned you have another screenplay you're working on, but is there anything that's to a point where you would like to talk about it? Anything that's already in production or anything else that you wanted to plug?
It's funny. I swore after Here There Be Tigers, the Stephen King Dollar Baby short film that I did. It's just wrapping up its film festival run, and Drez is in it. And I swore after that short film, because I've done like 6. And I would love for more people. Actually, that's what I'm going to plug. I have made like 6 or 7 short films. And I'm on Vimeo and I'm on YouTube, and they're all just under Jennifer Trudrung. And I'd love to get more views on them. But after that, I swore I wouldn't do any more short films. And then, of course, I was like, but I've never done an animated short film. So I have an animated short horror film that's should be done any day now, based on, it's just a 1-page screenplay idea that I came up with. And I found incredible graphic artist, Derek Stewart, who I love. And then this guy's name is Danny, but he goes by Ace on Intrigue. So they're finishing up the design and the sound. And it's called Posture. And then I just got
for Posture. Before you go on, for Posture, it's the animated short. Is that going to be up on Vimeo as well, or is that going to be?
It's going to do film festivals, and then it'll go up. And it's a fun one. It's gross.
Is there any concept art? Because one of the sites that we promote stuff on is a cartoon-based site. So I was going to say, if you have concept art or anything that you'd like to promote for that, we can totally do that. But I don't know what stage you're at as far as like what you can release NDA wise.
Yeah, no, I'm sure that we can get when they're done, and like I said, it should be any day now. I'll ask Derek for like that promo piece. And see what we can do. It's short. It's going to be like 3 minutes or less. But yeah, so that's just fun. And yes, and then like I said, a lot of screenplays in various levels of where they're at.
So we talked about your past and your present a bit, but let's say 10 years from now, where do you hope to be in your career? Like specifically in charge of projects like directing and writing wise, or more writing?
More writing. I've been very involved in the Women in Horror Film Festival community, or Women in Horror Film community. And there is a Women in Horror Film Festival, and they're amazing. And a lot of them have said I should direct. A lot of people are like, you should try that. And I've just realized, I think this past year and a half, I think that a lot of us, with all the time, the introspection, a lot of change, we've had time to kind of really reflect. And I'm a writer. I'm an introvert. People would listen to me, but I don't know how good of a director I would be. Like, you have to be very confident. You have to be very assertive. You have to be there's just a certain level of ability that I don't, and it's fine. I don't care. I'm old enough where I'm like, I don't care. So I want to be a screenwriter. I want to be paid to be a screenwriter. I want, that's where I would like to be. And as an actor, if I could get in just a couple more big horror movies, like a Stephen King one, or
did I see you're doing like a Halloween thing, or?
I got a really small role in Halloween Kills, and I've been told I'm in it. So we'll see come October. I don't even know if it'll be 15 seconds of fame. It might be like 3 seconds
14 seconds we'll have to do for you. Well, that's cool. Now, before I wrap, I want to make sure to give you a chance to, say anything that I haven't asked about, anything else that you would like people to go to, website wise, social media wise, or even just anything else that you would like to plug.
Thanks for that.
Of course.
Probably what I would love for them to do is to check, not probably, what I would love for you to do is to check out The Nest. It's on Redbox right now, but it comes out to all the video streaming services in the US July 20th, and then it'll be in the UK August, I think, 15th. I'd love for people to watch that, watch the movie, write a review, let us know what you think. You know, there's so much heart in that movie, and to me, it's much more about a psychological descent, like maternal horror, familial horror. The creatures are kind of like what's pushing all of this, but to me the heart of the story is the relationship between the mother and the daughter, and what the mother is willing to do for the daughter, and then pressure coming from all different sides. So I'd really like to hear what other people take away from The Nest. And yeah, send good vibes, good writing vibes if I start writing those numerous query letters to managers for being a screenwriter. And look for me in Halloween Kills. I'll be in a theater trying not to totally geek out. Yeah, thank you. Thanks for asking about that.
Of course. And